real shit.
You're right about that.
That's all. It wasn't offensive. It was just fact.
Yeah.
And now that facts are offensive to people, which is insane. Now that facts are offensive, now you just have to like on the outskirts, maybe like dig in a little bit, like, well, black people do this, but white people do this. You know,
you
and
always have to balance it out. You can't just say your point
Honestly,
anymore.
I'm going to tell you this right now. White people, black people, brown people, and everybody in between are fucking retarded. We all do the stupidest shit. We all do goofy shit. We do awful things. That's totally
Problem
fine.
solved. We figured it out.
And Nick,
we all fuck shit up.
Does that go back to, I don't know, being human? Isn't that like the underlying like topic here, right?
At what point do we adopt that mentality? Because we all know that that's the right one. Everyone knows that we should all band together. We know that racism is stupid. We know that all this shit is petty. We know that we should work together as one because we are one, even though we're not, these divisions are fake. We all know, everyone, I could say these words to any person on earth and they're gonna be like, yeah, 100%, that's exactly right. Yeah, of course. It's obvious that that's the right thing. But for some reason, we can't carry that mentality out. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
When are we just going to adopt it and realize that we're all the same species and we need to fucking work together and care about each other and love each other, and we're better off when we're combined instead of when we're divided?
Yeah.
Every culture has something different to bring to the table, and together we're strong and we're interesting and we're creative, and there's variety and nuance and fascinations. And I would love to talk to you and hear how your point of view is, maybe adopt some of your shit. Like Russians think a different way than Mexicans, and Mexicans think a different way than my people, and so on and so forth. And we sit around, we trade cards together, and we end up having this brilliant vocabulary and way of looking at life and these things. Like, don't sterilize that, man. Let's all just meet up in the middle and remember that we're all pieces of shit sometimes, and we're all good people, and we all make mistakes, and it's fine. At the end of the day, we're trying just try your best. Just have a good heart. Yeah. Remember we were talking about before the podcast started, we were like this has already been figured out. So the whole thing where everyone's like yelling at each other for like having different beliefs or whatever. There was again 90s. We used to remember that it didn't matter what your beliefs were. We didn't have to agree with each other. We didn't have to have the same ideas on what's right and what's wrong, ethics, morality, mentalities, things like this. That didn't matter. What mattered was, if I met you at the grocery store or I saw you walking down the street, if I treated you with respect, you treated me with respect, and that was the golden rule. And that's all we cared about. We didn't care. If you had a whole separate different belief system than me, you still treated me with respect, and on a human level, I respect you back, and that's all we gave a fuck about. And we allowed nuance and different ways of thinking to exist. That was real tolerance. We had tolerance. Yeah. What we have now is the exact opposite. This is intolerance. That was tolerance. Yeah. It was okay. Okay, so like whatever. Say there's a person that lives across the street from you, and they think that all transgenders have a mental illness, and that's their personal belief. But they don't yell and scream at them. They don't treat them like shit. They don't down talk them. They're not disrespectful when they see them or whatever. It's just a belief they harbor, and you find that out drinking at the barbecue one day. That slips out, and you realize that about that person. But their behavior towards them has always been good. You shouldn't hate that person. You shouldn't hate that person because they're still showing respect. Even though they don't agree and they see things differently, they're still choosing to behave in a way that is respectful and decent. That is honorable. Yeah. That is an honorable thing.
Yeah, that's what's okay, you know? I could tell you this. There's an old phrase. It's an old saying, and somebody had said this. It was judge someone not by the color of their skin, but by their character.
The content of their character?
And you know who said that? Preacher Billy Sunday. No, I'm just kidding. Give it to some white guy. Yeah, give it to some white dude. Give credit to a white guy.
The Reverend Ed Sheeran.
Yes. I think that was hilarious. George Carlin. How shitty would that be? My God. What an amazing saying, and then you can just chop it up with somebody else, you know?
But yeah, like, I don't know. The conversations were a lot more interesting back then.
Yeah, I mean...
I used to love listening to people.
Absolutely, man. Again, like, you know, when he was just getting, we were saying, like, I remember, like, my dad, like, some guy that was just completely different, like, had, like, nose rings and a blue mohawk, and they'd be talking. As different as they were, when we walked away, he'd go, hey, he's a good guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, now, that guy's going to go off somewhere and listen to punk rock and do crazy shit and something like that. You know what I mean? But it's that if you could have a decent conversation with somebody, and I want you to do something.
Put your differences aside and still respect each other.
And go out and look. Go look. Go to the gas station. Go to the grocery store. Go to a casino. I'm telling you right now, it's people from all different walks of life getting along just fine. Mm-hmm. Do not let them manipulate you into thinking you're a victim or you're a perpetrator when you're really not. Just go enjoy.
Turn the TV
yourself.
off.
Yes.
Turn the TV off and live in the real world, and your clarity will rush back to you.
Yeah.
It will be a very sobering moment of clarity the day that you stop thinking about the shit that they're saying on this fucking TV all the time, and we just talk to each other like we used to do. You'll realize real quick that most people treat each other with respect. Most people don't care that you have different beliefs. Most people aren't yelling and screaming about it. This is all manufactured nonsense. It's nonsense.
You know, some dude was like living in his van for the past 50 years, never had TV, never did it, kind of just driving around the country.
That guy's got to be a national treasure.
Dude, well, and then you go, hey, I want you to see something. And you turn the TV on and you show him the news. He'd go, hey, that's not true. And you go,
it says it is.
Yeah, no.
It says it is.
It is, because they're saying it. He'd go, no, I was just in New Mexico. They're fine down there. I was just over in Illinois. They got some bad parts, but everybody seems to get along
here's
good
something,
enough, you know?
Here's something that people haven't adjusted to yet. And like, I still have a lot of optimism and faith in humanity over time, because we're getting used to all these.
Such a pessimist,
but like, just hear me out on this. Like, we're getting used to all these tools and this aggressive media and YouTube on our phone. This is all new. People don't realize that this is a magnification tool. If you turn this on, they're taking situations that rarely ever occur, but it's a worldwide phenomenon of recording everything. And so it seems like it's happening everywhere all the fucking time. But in reality, it's not. It's just magnified in this digital fake reality that's not real. You're seeing, like, if you watch like the Faces of Death channel, whatever, you like look up fight. If you spent the whole day just looking up fight videos like he does on Reddit or whatever the fuck, you would think that if you walked outside, everyone is fist fighting each other to the death everywhere you go. And no, just because you find a lot of it on the internet doesn't mean that it's happening everywhere all the fucking time. It's an illusion. It's not real. So they make it seem like that all this crazy racist shit and all this shit's happening all the time everywhere and blah, blah, and this, that, and the other thing. It's an illusion. It's not real. In reality, if you just walk outside like we always talk about, birds are chirping, people are acting normally, and people are treating each other with respect. That's most of what's actually happening. This is an illusion. It's an illusion.
In fact, I'm going to tell you something right now. Those are so isolated that, like, let's say you walk into Walmart and you see two dudes just bombing on each other with haymakers. You're so excited because that so rarely happens.
That's what I'm saying.
You're like, yes, a fight. And you go run another. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, listen, we all love blood sport. I don't care who you are. There is nothing better than walking into like Mervin's and some dude's getting thrown over the rack and some dude just come down, or you walk outside of like, you know, like Burger King and like somebody's arguing over a parking spot and two women just start like beating the shit out of them.
I love those.
Now listen, I'm telling you, I know people are,
Jerry.
There's aggression, dude. And sometimes you just get out, you know, as long as somebody's stabbing or killing each other and people are just like duking it out, something like that, like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think mostly everybody gets into a fight in their life at least once. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not. But I'm telling you right now, the reason I'm bringing it up is you never see it. So when it finally does happen, you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? You're all excited and stuff. You know, it's funny, man.